all introduce Betty Boucher from Bexar County, who's going to introduce our priest. Yes.
Thank you, Colleen. Welcome to everyone. Father Wayne Cavalier is here with us this morning, and I wanted to tell you that he is a Dominican. This territory of New Spain was actually the territory of the Franciscans, but there were 4 orders that were in New Spain that the crown assigned territories to. The Dominicans, the Augustinians, the Franciscans, and the Jesuits. If any of you have been to Oaxaca, you've had the pleasure of seeing the 16th century Dominican architecture of churches, open-air chapels, and also monasteries. Today, our Dominican priest, who is one of a long line of those of the 4 orders who helped settle New Spain, is the director of the Congar Institute at the Oblate School of Theology. So we welcome him here today to start us off with a blessing. Father Cavalier.
Thank you, Betty. First, we should ask that God help the Franciscans to forgive Betty for inviting a Dominican to do this prayer. Let us pray. God of love and communion, as we as a city prepare to celebrate 300 years, we look back at our heritage, of which these missions are a lasting and beautiful reminder. A reminder of encounter, a reminder of the creative potential, the self-sacrificing ability of humans when they are called to love as you have loved. As we begin this celebration of our heritage, a heritage rooted in encounter, a encounter that was sometimes violent, sometimes peaceful, an encounter that leads us to greater communion. Help us to remember the height to which we are able to climb. Help us to let go of the violence we sometimes bring to those encounters. Help us to embrace the peace, the centrality of your presence, the creativity that these missions represent. Help us to be courageous in our encounters, to be people who seek out one another as brothers and sisters. And help us as we look back upon this heritage to move forward with greater peace, with less violence, with the courage and the strength and the commitment to live together as brothers and sisters, and help us to celebrate as only San Antonio can. We ask this in Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you, Father. And now I'd like to introduce Ramon Vasquez. From American Indians in Texas at the Spanish Colonial Missions, who will do our another blessing.
What an introduction. Ilmanam Bilamshan. Sin Ramon Nahauhu. Good morning, good new day to you all. I want to thank you guys for the opportunity to allow me to be here and give this blessing on behalf of our organization, American Indians in Texas at Spanish Colonial Missions, and as a proud member of one of the largest tribal organizations, tribal communities here, as the Tepilampotecan Nation. I would just like to thank the World Heritage offices for their dedication to making sure that this history is preserved you know, for not only everybody here, right, but everybody in the future to come. These missions, all of them, from here all the way down to Espada, are just as important to our people as tribal community who were missionized, right, who were from these missions. My relatives who are over at Santa Rosa right now doing a different blessing, who are also in prayer with us today for some remains over there, have relatives who were born in these missions, who were buried inside these missions, from here all the way down to Mission Espada. And so I want to thank you guys for making sure that this history is preserved for my children. And we as Tapilam Poeteca Nation will do whatever it takes to help and assist in this preservation of these symbols, you know, these symbols that that ensure that my community and my people's sacrifices, right, will be understood, right, and told. And what a perfect opportunity for us to make sure that the history here is told as accurately as possible, you know, because those people that are buried just in front of the mission here, right, and inside those walls that our people come and pay homage to often, every year, once a year. As a matter of fact, it's a perfect opportunity that this being today, because that ceremony actually comes up this weekend, where we'll be here praying for our ancestors that are buried inside these walls, and running from mission to mission to continue that prayer from here all the way down to Mission Espada. So I want to close with a little prayer that an elder of mine put together in our language. Apanan tamo, tupo, Alamo Plaza, Santa Rosa, Akuen apakawa, hane tawahayo bilam, hasal tuchem nakte. Now let's sound. That prayer says, Great Spirit, I pray that you bless with your love Alamo Plaza, all of the missions, Santa Rosa Hospital, and all the people's hearts that are here today. Thank you. And in closing, I'm going to share a song from our people to you. And in our songs, we depict sometimes some cheerful things, but into other times, we give thanks to our Creator, and we give of an understanding of prayer and how to just be human. So, in closing, I'll share that song, and I'll be out of your hair. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Ramon. And thank you, everyone, for being here today. It's a beautiful morning. Those of you who were last year may have remembered how hot it was. So thank you for bringing the good weather. Appreciate that. We've expanded the number of events to include this festival, and we look forward to a fun and festive week ahead. I'd like to introduce our mayor, Ron Nirenberg, who will open the festival officially.
Good morning, everyone. It's great to be here, great to feel the 75 or so degree weather. We were overdue, but I appreciate it, Colleen and Father Rogelio, Ramon, and the American Indians at the Spanish Colonial Mission for the song and invocation. I am very excited to kick off and announce the second annual World Heritage Festival. It's an honor to be part of a global community that celebrates the legacy of all of mankind. As UNESCO puts it, World Heritage Sites belong to all of the peoples of the world, irrespective of the territory on which they are located. The world is invited to San Antonio's front porch. The San Antonio missions are among a handful of important World Heritage Sites from around the world, from the Canary Islands to the Philippines to Central America and even the Caribbean, that have a long history of Spain's global influence. And the Spanish missions played an integral role in the creation of our heritage and cultural diversity here in town. And this festival continues to celebrate what is now a living history for San Antonio. I want to send special recognition to my colleagues, Councilman Trevino in District 1 and Councilwoman Villagran, District 3, our World Heritage champion, who is there to celebrate the world giving notice to San Antonio with our first World Heritage Site in the state of Texas. I have a proclamation to read to kick us off. Whereas the San Antonio Missions World Heritage Festival will be held September 6th through the 10th, 2017, on the grounds of the San Antonio Missions to celebrate and promote the San Antonio Missions, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. And whereas the festival is hosted in coordination with the National Park Service, the Alamo, Bexar County, San Antonio River Authority, National Parks Conservation Association, Los Compadres, Las Misiones, and the Rivard Report. And whereas the goal of the event is to promote the San Antonio missions, celebrate our city's history and culture, and raise funds to preserve, maintain, and connect the missions to the river and other cultural heritage sites. And whereas the 5-day festival is spread throughout the 5 San Antonio missions and surrounding area and includes a bike tour, 5K, 10K walk, living heritage symposium, and other activities and entertainment for the entire family to enjoy. Now therefore I, Ron Nirenberg, Mayor of the City of San Antonio, in recognition thereof, do hereby proclaim September 6th through 10th to be World Heritage Festival Days. And now it gives me great pleasure to introduce my colleague, Councilwoman Villagran, our World Heritage champion here in San Antonio.
Thank you, Mayor, very much. It is a beautiful windy day, so excuse my hair as it goes all over the place. Good morning and thank you. My name is Rebecca Villagran. I have the distinct honor of serving as Councilwoman for District 3, the south and the southeast side of San Antonio, which represents 4 of the 5 San Antonio missions. But we are here at the steps in the shadow of our beloved Mission de Valero, our Alamo. It is such an honor to be here today and to celebrate this World Heritage Festival, which highlights our outstanding universal value and our place in the world. One of my goals has been to ensure that we continue to enhance the opportunities for the Southside residents by bringing families together to celebrate art, culture, education, and healthy living. And what a better example than this World Heritage Festival. We have to thank all of our partners because this did come from just conversations of people gathering together to see how can we make this larger? How can we have the entire city of San Antonio and our region celebrate together this designation? It was an honor to be there in Bonn, Germany with Judge Wolf and Betty and many of you all here today to hear the ambassadors from UNESCO say that the missions are an example and tell the story of the Americas. And so that story we need to continue. We need to continue to lay out the legacy that is ours. And it's the legacy of the American Indians in Texas, and it's all of our legacy. So we need to continue to tell that story here. It is our collaborative effort that we've worked with the county and the city and San Antonio River Authority and Mission Heritage Partners and National Park Service, everyone collectively together for 9 years, but we continue that collaboration, and that's why, Mayor, we are an example to the rest of the United States on how to move World Heritage forward. And that is what we're doing with this festival. The goal of the festival is to promote the San Antonio missions and highlight the historic and cultural significance, to celebrate the inscription together as a community, and to support the nonprofit organizations and projects that preserve, promote, and connect our world missions, our wonderful missions, and our river. It has something for everyone, as was mentioned, and we are proud to have so many international visitors this time, leaders and experts in World Heritage, Living Heritage, Cultural Heritage, all in town for our Living Heritage Symposium. I do want to thank Shannon Miller and the Office of Historic Preservation for all the work that they are doing with this Living Heritage Symposium. This evening, we will have our reception for Entre de la Sombra. This is a free exhibit and will visually showcase the culture and spirit of our San Antonio missions through stories by those who have experienced life along the missions. This exhibit is a collaborative effort of the city's Office of Historic Preservation, Department of Arts and Culture, and the World Heritage Office. And I need to give thanks to Colleen Swain, our director of the World Heritage Office, and her staff, who is literally working behind the scenes here and doing such a great job. And on September 8th, one of my favorite events for World Heritage Festival is the Restored by Light. It will be at Mission Concepcion, and it will start around 8 o'clock. Well, the lighting will happen, but we'll start even before then, around 6 o'clock. You are all invited to attend. You're going to love it when you see it at Mission Concepcion, where Father David Garcia is the pastor there. And bonus for you all, you can ride the Via Viva out there. You can ride the 40 until 11 p.m. that night, so it'll be easy and you don't have to worry about gas. This is a family-free event, and it's such a great time because you see families running and playing right in front of our missions. And it's like it's our backyard, and everyone's playing together in their backyard. So again, I want to encourage you all to visit the website, worldheritagefestival.org, and get ready to have a great time and celebrate, promote, and support. Thank you very much.
And now I'd like to introduce one of our partners, Bexar County, and Judge Nelson Wolf to come up and say a few words.
Well, thank you very much. And Rebecca mentioned 9 years that it took to do this. And I think it's important to remember some of the folks that really initiated it. Initiated through the Bexar County Historical Commission. One of my appointees on that board was Paul Ringenbach. Paul's here today. Paul, would you stand up? Paul worked for over 9 years. It was the principal author of the documents that we had to present to the World Heritage folks, running several hundred pages long, and it took a great deal of research. Betty Boucher and a number of other people worked very, very hard with him in providing that research. So I want to thank them very, very much for initiating this and for the work that the county did in that area. I also want to thank the great work that was done by Henry Munoz. Now, there's a political connection in everything you do. It's all not academic. And Henry was a good friend of Ken Salazar, Secretary of the Interior. Henry was on the National Parks Foundation. The Interior Secretary and the World Heritage people in there turned us down 2 years in a row, and Henry and I went several times up to see him, and Ken Salazar came here and said that's going to change and supported us. There was a significant contribution by Henry Munoz and Ken Salazar that kind of got the political stuff out of the way so that we could move forward with this designation. And I think it was also important that some $200 million that the county put into the mission reach of the river, creating a string of pearls, those 4 beautiful missions. And we couldn't have done that without Suzanne Scott. Where's Suzanne? I saw her. Suzanne Scott, head of the San Antonio River Authority, was the one that did all the hard work. We might have put the money up, but she did all the hard work. making that happen. And I seriously doubt if we hadn't stepped up and if the River Authority had not done such a tremendous job, I kind of doubt that we'd ever got that designation. So Suzanne, thank you very much for the great work you did. We put together an economic impact study, and by gosh, those numbers turned out to be true. After the first year, how much it went up in terms of visits. I think it went up something like 1,500, from 500 to something like 1,500 people going down, 15,000, I got that wrong, down to the mission. So it certainly proved to be true once we got that designation. Now what we're trying to do, and we hope we're doing it right, and you will soon find out whether we get a passing grade or a failing grade on San Pedro Creek. The missions were about the confluence of societies, confluence of cultures, confluence of ethnic groups that came together and started building this great city that we know today as San Antonio. We're going to try to exemplify that on the San Pedro Creek. It's not just about water on the creek, it's about telling that story through art, through inscriptions on walls, through signs, and we hope to have the first one ready on the 5th, our anniversary next year. We're also going to have a little opera. We had a little opera when we kicked it off. We're going to have an opera that night at the Tobin Center, an original opera that we commissioned, the county did, so we hope that you'll be able to come to that opera. Now let me tell you how important I believe this work is being done by Colleen Swain and by Rebecca Villagrán and Mayor Nirenberg. It was clear when we got the designation that if you didn't celebrate that designation, if you didn't try to get more people involved in understanding why that designation is so important, people would forget about it. People would ignore it. And so what the city is doing here today, under the leadership of Mayor Ron Nirenberg, putting together this festival to try to reach out and explain to other people what the missions were about, what our city's about, what our heritage is. Because if you don't understand that, you don't know who you are. So I want to thank Colleen and her team and Rebecca's great work that she's doing. She was there with us in Bonn, Germany. Let me tell you, there's been exciting moments in all our lives, but when we got the designation and all the delegates started clapping and coming up and thanking us and congratulating us, that didn't happen on any other inscription. That was a rare moment for San Antonio, Texas. So, Rebecca, thanks for your hard work. So, let's celebrate and let's get everybody to understand what this is all about. Thank you.
And now I'd like to have Commissioner Calvert come up and say a few words.
Well, good morning. We're grateful for the Chamber of Commerce weather this morning. I have just a few reflections on being a World Heritage City. I just took a church tour of the world, of Europe. I went to La Sagrada Familia in Barcelona, then went over to St. Mark's in Venice, where St. Mark is buried, and of course the Vatican in Rome. And I think San Antonio and Bexar County has an incredible opportunity as a World Heritage City. And I say that because we do hospitality almost as well as anyone in the world. We're almost unrivaled in terms of our hospitality. And you don't get that in every city that you travel to. I remember being in Columbus this summer for the National Association of Counties Conference. I was at the Convention Center Hotel and I said, boy, this thing is the pits. They don't quite open the welcome mat that San Antonio does. And that is important, that people have a great experience out of the World Heritage visitation. I'll give you another example. I was trying to get to the World Heritage Site in Pompeii and Naples, and their bus system was so messed up, I missed my bus to see it. And so the fact that we've got easily accessible transportation and easily workable opportunities for visitors to our city is to our credit, and we need to keep going. Where we need to continue to grow, though, where we have a deficit that I'm honored that our mayor is working on, is in our world connectivity. So in making sure that we can keep this going, what we need to do better and more of is marketing in the global sphere of these treasures of World Heritage. And I know, Mayor Nirenberg, you will do that as a president of the Sister City organization. You're doing a lot of work to make us more global, and that will pay off in terms of the tourism that comes to our community. So Bexar County is proud to have provided leadership in the process of the designation of the World Heritage Site, the first and only one in Texas. We stand in front of the Alamo Mission San Antonio de Valero, located in beautiful Precinct 4. We congratulate the General Land Office in taking the initiative to create a master plan to preserve and interpret the Alamo for the enjoyment of current and future generations. Now, one of the things I'll say, I haven't said it publicly, but I'll probably add my 2 cents to all the things that have been said about the Alamo complex, is that when Bexar County was founded, we were founded as a city of the future. And it's so important that in the movement of whatever happens in this square, that it looks like the future, not just the past, but also what a county and a city of the future looks like. So, like the General Land Office, the county also owns property that is a World Heritage Site. An indivisible 50%, the 3.7-acre compound at Mission San Jose is co-owned by the Archdiocese and Bexar County, and the Indian quarters were reconstructed by Bexar County with funds from the Works Progress Administration, WPA, during President Roosevelt's New Deal. And after the WPA funded the project, San Jose Mission was designated the first National Historic Site in the United States, located west of the Mississippi River. And the county is proud to have opened that door in this part of our country. In reality, the World Heritage Site is also related to the 300th anniversary of our founding, which we'll celebrate next year. The epic story of our community includes the establishment of Bexar territories in New Spain, northern New Spain, where 2 frontier institutions were founded in May 1718 on San Pedro Creek. Mission San Antonio de Valero, transferred from the Rio Grande, and the Presidio San Antonio de Bejar were founded under the leadership and provincial administration of Marqués de Valero. His brother, the Duque de Bejar, and namesake of our modern county, honored his brother with his name for his bravery and sacrifices as a war hero. These frontier institutions were later joined by the first official municipal government, the Cabildo, established by the Canary Islanders in 1731. In 1836, after the Battle of the Alamo, Bexar County was created during the Republic of Texas and extended to lands all the way to Cheyenne, Wyoming. Today, 12 generations have jointly created a thriving and diverse North American municipality that manifests what the continent became, an amalgamation of nations, which UNESCO recognized as the interweaving of cultures. And I think what Mayor Nirenberg cited in the proclamation about World Heritage Sites belonging to no country, no territory, is so important for us to delineate. We've got to do a better job of that, whether it's emphasizing what the Belgians and Flemish did with the iron that was wrought here in the Mission San Antonio de Valero, or many other nations. We need to delineate all of the nations so that they feel welcome when they travel from around the world, to know that their people also are our people, and we all contributed. So Bexar County is proud to join the other property owners and the citizens of our community to celebrate our heritage and share it with the world. We look forward to your participation Saturday on the bike ride. I remember Councilwoman and Councilwoman have been participants in the past. Councilman Trevino, who shares his territory, come on, bike ride this weekend, all right? He's up next. Thanks so much. Councilman Roberto Trevino, District 1.
Thank you, Commissioner. Anytime you want to do a bike race, I'm happy to do one with you. Thank you for that great history lesson, because it's really critical, as has been said by many people speaking before us, about knowing our history, knowing ourselves. I'm Councilman Roberto Trevino. Welcome to District 1, the heart of the city, and here at Mission San Antonio de Valero, which is otherwise known as the Alamo. I'm happy to be here to kick off the World Heritage Festival here at the Alamo.